Today I'm going to share with you exactly how I maintain a body fat percentage of 5% year-round without counting or restricting calories, or without being in a caloric deficit. And if you're a man in your 40s or 50s, you're most likely watching this video thinking, man, I'm never going to get a body fat percentage of 5%, and I don't expect you to, obviously not. But you can certainly get it under 15% and maybe even under 10% and see abs, absolutely, if you apply everything that I'm about to teach you here in this video today. I made a lot of mistakes for you already. 10 plus years of mistakes, bad advice, bad diets that did not work for me, workout regimens that did not work for me. I picked up 3 certifications through the National Academy of Sports Medicine as a personal trainer, nutrition coach, corrective exercise specialist. I've been studying anatomy and physiology for the past 6 to 7 years now, and I'm an apprentice of a medical doctor with 40 plus years of clinical experience, which is why I follow more of a hormonal-based approach, which is exactly what I'm about to explain to you here in this video. So that's the approach that I take to my nutrition. I think more from a hormonal-based perspective whenever I'm about to eat foods. So particularly with one hormone, insulin, I make sure no matter what, no matter how much I'm eating, whether it's a small amount or a large amount, usually it is a lot of food. I actually consume quite a bit of food inside each meal. I eat about 2 meals per day. But no matter what they look like, I always make sure that whatever I'm about to eat is going to give me either no insulin response or a initial insulin response, but then it goes back down just as fast as it comes up, right? Which are the 2 best insulin responses. Insulin is the ultimate predictor of how much body fat you're going to lose or gain. This is a hormone that stores body fat, right? So if I'm about to eat something, I want to ensure that my likelihood of storing body fat is literally 0%. And if anything, I follow my own diet 100% of the time because it's very simple, it's very straightforward, it doesn't take me long to cook, and the foods that I'm eating I really, really enjoy. So if anything, I see these foods as cheat meals. Every now and then I may cheat, I may go to a birthday party or something, or a family dinner and may have like a little pizza or whatever it may be, but I never go weeks and weeks and weeks off of my regimen, off of my diet, and then take a super long time to get back into it like what a lot of other guys do, right? So I really prioritize eating more in the way of higher fat, higher protein foods from animals, make animal foods the main composition of my diet, and then I focus on getting my carbohydrate sources from really fruits, mostly fruits and some vegetables. My carbohydrate intake is falling somewhere around 100 to 200 grams per day, and I don't track my macros meticulously. I have a general idea of what they look like. I get about a 1-to-1 fat to protein ratio at least. So for every 1 gram of protein, I get about 1 gram of fat just because I'm getting full fat options. I don't track that. And on certain days, I'll get a 2-to-1 fat to protein ratio because I'm eating so much in the way of dietary fat. And that is actually optimal. That is actually what I usually strive for, because if you consume dietary fat, your likelihood of storing body fat is actually 0%, unlike what most people tell you. If you eat a super low-fat diet, you're going to lose more body fat. That's absolute BS. If you eat more in the way of dietary fat, you'll store more fat. Fat makes you fat. That's absolute BS. There's no glucose in saturated fat or monounsaturated fat, which are the 2 main fat sources that I use for fuel in my diet. So therefore, if there's no glucose in that saturated fat or monounsaturated fat, then there is no insulin response. And once again, insulin is the ultimate predictor of how much body fat you're going to lose or gain. So if there's no glucose, there's no insulin response. If there's no insulin response, there's no fat storage. You don't store any body fat. So that's why I make that macronutrient the main composition of my diet. You don't really hear many people very often saying that they make dietary fat 50% of their diet, or at least strive for it, right? Once again, I don't meticulously track my macros. I have a general idea of what my macros look like just by looking at the foods that I'm eating. I eat the same things almost every single day. If anything, mainly eat red meat, fattier cuts of fish, sometimes chicken, and sometimes other lean meats. And then once again, some naturally sourced carbohydrates, some fruits and vegetables, and that's about it. And to switch it up when it makes sense, right? So sometimes I'll go with a side of plantains. Sometimes I'll go with a pear or something that does not take long to prepare, and just continue to mix it up. But really, that's what it looks like most of the time. I let the animal foods really take up a large majority of my plate and have that fruit on the side or that vegetable on the side. And I really don't track anything. I don't track my calories. I don't track my macros. I don't weigh my food. There's no quantity. I don't really, there's no quantity-based approach here. I just don't do it. And I know that because the reason I don't do that is because I know that the quality will take care of the quantity. And what do I mean by that? If I'm eating high-quality foods that are going to satiate me and not put me in a position to store body fat, then why do I need to track calories? So many of you guys want to track your calories, want to track your macros, want to track this, want to track that, but you already have calories that you can eat away at around your stomach. You need to ask yourself how you can unlock those calories instead of trying to find a way to track the calories of food that you have not even ingested yet. That would be my recommendation to you if you are someone that's looking to count calories, or you've tried a caloric deficit, you've tried tracking macros, and you're still not at your ideal weight and you don't have your ideal body. So I don't do that. I don't even know how many calories I'm eating every single day. I have no idea what my, actual grams of protein look like on a daily basis. I don't know what my daily protein intake is. I know it's above 100. That's all I need to know. And that's another mistake you guys make with macros. Get very meticulous with your protein intake. If you don't hit 120 grams of protein, you don't hit your 1 gram per 1 pound of body weight protein goal, you lose your mind. Don't. If you get physically satiated by eating, let's say, 90 grams of protein and you want to hit 150, don't force yourself to eat 60 more grams of protein just because you want to hit that goal and you're already satiated. Don't do that, because now you're going to disrupt the metabolic breakdown of the food that you were already satiated by, right? Foods that already satiated you, you're going to disrupt the metabolic breakdown of that just so you can hit your protein goal. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. So that's really the philosophy that I take with my diet. And all my clients follow the exact same philosophy. Michael, who lost 13 pounds in 3 weeks, Joe, who lost 14 pounds in his first month, Steve, who lost 30 pounds in 2 months, half of that being within his first 10 days. It's not like these guys have copy and pasted my diet into their diet, but they're following a very, very, very similar protocol and just wiring it, customizing it to their lifestyle. And of course, I customize that for them. If you're already interested in how I can do that for you, feel free to click the link in the top of the video description to speak with me directly to see if I can help you. This is for men who are career-driven in their 40s and 50s that want to lose weight, not some teenager on the internet. And if you are, by the way, if you are some teenager, 18, 19, 20 years old, you're in your 20s, and you're unemployed, or you have some low-paying job or whatever it may be, and you're just over here commenting saying that I'm 10% body fat, I'm not here to prove anything to you at all whatsoever. Just click off this video. This video is not for you. So sorry about that for all the men that are in their 40s and 50s, but we have to push those people away because they're a nuisance. Anyway, so getting back into it, now my workout regimen, I would spend a whole lot of time talking about my workout regimen, but there's not too much to talk about. And that's one thing that I've learned from having 10 plus years of exercise experience is not overcomplicating your exercise regimen or your split. So many guys will want to craft out the perfect split or want all conditions to be perfect before they actually go to the gym, but they don't have to be. You simply have to target each muscle group each week. That's all that matters. The only purpose, the sheer purpose of exercising for the perspective of losing weight is to boost your metabolism. And the best way to boost your metabolism to its greatest extent is to target each muscle group each week. Legs, chest and shoulders, back, and arms. If you decide to split up that way, great. If you decide to split up with push-pull legs or a 7-day split where it's super individualized, it does not matter. There's benefits and disadvantages to each one. You just need to target each muscle group each week and pick a split that works for you. That's it. I've done a lot of different splits throughout my life. I've done full body, I've done a bro split, now I'm doing push-pull legs, but I still follow the same philosophy. Prioritizing weight training over cardio. I still do cardio here and there, but I always prioritize weight training just because I get a much bigger metabolic boost by breaking down my muscles and getting them to grow again versus just running seamlessly on the treadmill. So that would be my same recommendation for you guys. I'm not saying to not do cardio at all whatsoever, but I would highly recommend for you to do more in the way of weight training because you get the most in the way of benefits. You get a better bang for your buck, right? And in terms of sleep, I really prioritize my sleep. And you can ask any of my family members, anyone that I have previously lived with, or whoever it may be, or any of my friends, anyone that knows me knows that I really, really prioritize my sleep. I do not let anything possibly get in the way of me not getting a full night's rest and not being in bed for at least 8 to 9 hours. Will I be asleep for all those 8 to 9 hours? No, but I know that if my quality of sleep is very, very high, I'm getting good non-REM and REM sleep, I'm getting good deep sleep, that delta wave oriented sleep, my likelihood of performing better in the gym, eating away at my body fat stores, which is exactly what happens when you are sleeping for 8 to 9 hours. That's your whole time restricted eating window. That's where you're basically having to eat away at your own body fat stores and use fuel anyway. If you're going to have a full bout of sleep like that, where you're sleeping for 8 hours straight, I really want to prioritize that. I want to optimize that to its greatest extent, because if you don't have sleep, you have nothing. If you were to, like so far we've talked about dieting, exercise, and sleep, right? If we were to take diet out of the equation, have you eating horrible foods every single day, you would certainly gain body fat, right? You would certainly take steps closer and closer towards mortality. Slowly though. Exercise, you can get away with it, but same thing, right? You'd be taking steps closer and closer towards mortality, but it would be a lot slower. Sleep, on the other hand, if you restrict somebody of sleep for a week, they are going to be a completely different person. They're not going to be functional. I can say this myself. I went 2 weeks without sleeping and had chronic insomnia, which is part of the reason why I prioritize my sleep so much today. And I know how bad it is to go so long, especially that long, without sleeping. You increase sympathetic nervous system activity, you spike the hormone ghrelin, you spike the hormone cortisol, and you suppress the hormone leptin. Leptin is a satiety hormone, ghrelin is a hunger hormone, and cortisol is a stress hormone. So you're increasing the secretion of a stress hormone and your hunger hormone. Really bad scenario for overeating. And you're suppressing your satiety hormone. So you're literally putting yourself in a position to overeat bad foods, and you're stressed out. So it's the worst combination possible. And you are taking steps closer towards a lower metabolic rate. You slow down your metabolic rate whenever you are restricted of sleep, and you don't give your body a full bout of sleep, or a full bout of 7, 8, 9 hours, whatever it may be, to eat away at your own body fat stores, and to regulate all the other hormones that we just talked about that allow you to have a high elevated metabolic rate. And if they're not regulated properly, you get the end result of increased sympathetic nervous system activity, fight or flight nervous system, a slowdown in your metabolic rate, an increase in cortisol, a stress hormone, an increase in hunger, ghrelin hormone, and a suppression in leptin. An absolute recipe for disaster if you're somebody that is looking to get a flat stomach and lose weight month after month. So that's why out of all these things, the number one thing that I prioritize the most is sleep. And if I don't get a full bout of at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night, the workouts that I did that day, the way I ate that day, almost means nothing if I did not get that, because it's that important for regulating everything. Sleep means everything. So out of everything that I've mentioned so far, I would say that sleep is definitely by far the most important variable here that has allowed me to not only get a very low body fat percentage, but to achieve such optimal health. Because all the benefits that you're looking to get from your diet or from your exercise regimen, you will not receive those benefits unless you get a full night's rest. So, very simple, very straightforward, but that is some value that I would like to drop to all of you guys, just because many of y'all have been asking how I maintain a body fat percentage like I do, and that's how I do it. Really by structuring out a very simple, easy to follow diet that allows me to never store any body fat at all whatsoever. I target each muscle group each week to get a big boost in my metabolic rate. And I always shoot for 7 to 8 hours of sleep minimum, sometimes 9, for all the reasons that we just listed off here in this video. And if you'd like to learn how I can help you achieve a low body fat percentage, get a flat stomach, and see amazing weight loss results like all my other clients that I have worked with one-on-one, then feel free to click the first link in the top of the video description to speak with me personally to see if I can help you do just that. And if you have any questions about the customized programming that we do for all of our clients, feel free to click the link, the second link, in the middle of the video description to speak with me on Instagram in case you have any questions. So that's it for this video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.